A fun, interactive Prosper Tomebound deck for less than $100? Let's get started. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified of new Commander videos in the future. Last year brought us the first ever crossover from D&D into Magic the Gathering, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Later this year, we're going to be getting a second foray into the Forgotten Realms in Battle for Baldur's Gate, a Commander Legends product. I'm very excited to do more lore videos on those cards when the time comes, but for now I wanted to talk about one of my favorite commanders from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, Prosper Tomebound. Prosper is a 4-mana, 1/4 legendary Tiefling Warlock with Death Touch. He also has two other static abilities, Mystic Arcanum and Pact Boon, both of which are references to Warlock class abilities in Dungeons & Dragons. Prosper's Mystic Arcanum lets us exile the top card of our library at the beginning of each of our end steps, and that card can be played until the end of our next turn. His second ability, Pact Boon, states that whenever we cast a card from exile, we create a treasure token. So not only does Prosper give us card advantage, he also ramps us. We are encouraged to play cards from exile, so we want more of that specific effect. There are 3 keyworded mechanics already built into Magic that allow this: Cascade, Suspend, and Foretell, but there are also many cards that allow us to play cards from exile. So we want to include cards that do this, because it will add to our ramp. We're also going to be sacrificing a lot of treasure tokens, so cards with sacrifice payoffs would also be a good thing. And with us drawing and casting so many cards per turn, we're going to want some extra ramp as well. Before we get started, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, though this deck will probably go higher. 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. To start, let's take a look at the cards that exile. Obviously, repeatable effects are great, so to start we have the most expensive card in our deck, Chandra Torch of Defiance, followed by Tectonic Giant, Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos, Itali Primal Storm, Theater of Horrors, Florian Voldaren Scion, Dream Pillager, Chaos Channeler, and Author of Shadows, which also doubles as our first piece of graveyard hate. We also have several spells and abilities that only exile once in Reckless Impulse, Ignite the Future, Light Up the Stage, Commune with Lava, Direfleet Daredevil, Gaunty Lord of Luxury, You Find Some Prisoners, Hurl Through Hell, Apex of Power, Galvanic Relay, Creative Technique, and Fevered Suspicion. So that's a lot of ways for us to put cards into exile and then cast them again, which is going to generate us a ton of treasure tokens. But 2 is always better than 1, so I added a Zorn. To tie into our theme of casting cards from exile, I also included a Wild Magic Sorcerer. Because we're going to be sacrificing a lot of treasure tokens, we have a Havoc Jester, Disciple of the Vault, Nadir's Nightblade, Reckless Fireweaver, Mayhem Devil, and Marionette Master, which is our sudden I win card. Our spot removal package includes the already mentioned Hurl Through Hell, as well as Bedevil, Abrade, Rakdos Charm, which serves as our second piece of graveyard hate, Chaos Warp, Feed the Swarm, Cleansing Wildfire, The Eldest Reborn, Terminate, and Tybalt's Trickery. We also have Swiftfoot Boots and Undying Malice as protection cards. Blasphemous Act and Disrupt Decorum serve as our board wipes. For card advantage, while we already have tons of spells that allow us to cast cards from exile, I also included Unexpected Windfall, Wheel of Misfortune, and God Eternal Bontu. We also have Profane Tutor and Wheel of Fate as suspend cards, a mechanic that we know synergizes very well with Prosper. For additional suspend shenanigans, we also have Soul Talisman, Lotus Bloom, and Rousing Refrain. The rest of our mana rocks consist of Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fire Diamond and Charcoal Diamond, Rakdos Signet, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Solemn Simulacrum, and Burnished Heart. For additional treasure generation, we're also running Stormkiln Artist and Brass's Bounty. Finally, a Dream Devourer for additional ramp and some Foretell shenanigans. Our lands consist of a Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, a Myriad Landscape for ramp, Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse for color fixing, Bojuka Bog for our third piece of graveyard hate, Haunted Ridge, Dragonskull Summit, Sulphurous Mire, Temple of Malice, Smoldering Marsh, Drossforge Bridge, Rakdos Guildgate, Bloodfell Caves, 8 Swamps, and 15 Mountains. So how does our deck list check out? 53 mana sources, counting our commander. A little high, but we want to cast multiple spells per turn. 27 pieces of card advantage. This is why we went high on the mana ramp in the first place. 12 pieces of spot removal, counting Mayhem Devil and Havoc Jester. 2 board wipes, 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate, 1 Sudden I Win card. So our deck checks all the boxes and comes in at less than $100. In fact, most of this deck is in the original Precon, so if you got Prosper from opening set boosters, you'll need to spend about $90 to get the rest of the deck. However, if you have the Planar Portal Precon deck lying around, you'll only need to spend about $50 to upgrade it, not counting the lands. I'd start by adding Chandra Torch of Defiance, as it's going to be your biggest upgrade, along with Blasphemous Act for an actual board wipe, then Profane Tutor, Wheel of Fate, and the rest of the suspend cards. Then move on to upgrading your lands. The original Precon was pretty good, but if you don't have it, less than $100 is a great starting point for a fun and interactive Commander deck. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content. I post new Commander videos every Monday and new shorts every Thursday. Or you can click here for more Commander content. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.